Welcome to another Badminton Talk podcast. Brought to you by my mobile badminton shop. Welcome to everybody in Ireland, in England, in Europe, all across the world. Sponsored by
It's a guess. Grab that cash with both hands and make a stash. You can copy your full stuff.
Yes, the subject of money is the continued topic on our podcast. And last week we talked about money. We heard from some great contributors, and we're going to talk more about money today. Mark, welcome back.
Hey, John. Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah, great, Mark. These COVID times, we've got to record over Zoom now. Mark?
Yes, it's not as good as recording together, but look, better to be safe than sorry, John.
Oh, yeah, better to be safe than sorry. So tell us, how are the toppings doing these days?
We're doing very well, John. Personally, I'm really using this time to get physically very strong. So I've actually taken up running. So a big shout out to Fran Walsh.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's a big shout to Fran Walsh there, Mark.
She's been encouraging me to get out running, and I'm taking her advice.
Great.
How are the Nobles, John?
The Nobles, well, I think like most of the families, and particularly most badminton families, we're still doing as much as we can to keep fit, to train. But and we're certainly not easing off. But we're very optimistic now with the vaccine. In a couple of months, we should be getting back to the badminton courts, Mark.
Absolutely, John. Hope so.
Yeah, well, listen, first of all, I want to welcome all our listeners and really want to thank you all. We've had a tremendous start to our first podcast last week where we began on money, Mark.
Yeah, John, I heard a rumour that we had over 500 downloads. Is that right, John?
Yes, we've had over 500. It's been tremendous. We don't, for just having talked on our first podcast, obviously a very interesting subject. We know money. It's been a tremendous success. And we just wanted to give a big shout out to, of course, only for our sponsor, we wouldn't be able to bring the podcast, but thank you for that. And we want to continue today, though, Mark, to talk about, can you make money playing badminton? We heard from some very experienced players, Ray Vader, Norman Pontanoza, Sam McKay, some very interesting opinions. So I'd like to listen to a couple more, and maybe, Mark, you might give me your words of wisdom and your thoughts on them.
Absolutely, John. Who's next anyway? Who are we going for?
Yeah, well, the first person is Jack Frost. Now, Jack is a very talented badminton coach, a BWF qualified coach. He's based in Hong Kong, at the head of the coach development department at Hong Kong Family Badminton Association. He's also the director of Hong Kong China's Elite Badminton Association. My God, Mark, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, brilliant. Was Jack not the guy who flew over from Hong Kong to do a BWF Level 1 coaching course with you with Badminton Ireland, John?
That's actually right, Mark. About 2 years ago, Jack came to Badminton Ireland out in Marino at the time. I met him there with a couple of other players that were doing their Level 1 BWF. I had the privilege to meet him and then get to know him. We flew out to Hong Kong the summer of 2019 with the family, did a lot of training there at the Hong Kong Institute with the Hong Kong players, the youth players, the talent, the senior players were there too. Also got to meet Yip Hui Ying, and if Yip is listening, we say hello to Yip from Ireland, who has been a top-class lady singles player in the world for many, many years, Mark.
Wow, John, yeah, I do remember you telling me all about that trip. What a trip, and what a fantastic opportunity to play against some fabulous players and to work with Jack Frost on badminton.
Yeah, no, you're right, Mark. Sorry, cutting across you there, getting very excited already to listen to what Jack has got to say. Sorry, Mark, if you can hold it there. I know you're not short of a few words, but we want to hear from Jack. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine, John. Go for it.
Okay, so we caught up with Jack and asked him the question, can you make money from badminton? This is what Jack had to say.
Hi, John. It's Jack Frost from Hong Kong. Can you make money by playing badminton? It's surely a good topic. Here's my thought. For youngsters and teenagers who like to play badminton and have already reached a level that's capable for promoting the sport, I'd recommend that you should go for either participating as a player to play for companies that have their own representative teams, or on the other hand, you can equip yourself with sufficient knowledge to coach our next generation. But if you're aiming to become rich by playing badminton, you definitely have to think out of the box apart from just playing badminton. For example, if you were to choose to coach, try to think in the shoe of a student or a parent. Why should I learn from you? And is there any difference compared with your competitors? Once you get this done, try to scale up and make things organized. This is crucial to show your ability to understand the game from an end user's angle. Either way you choose, my advice is that you must have patience on it because we always start at a lower level, beginning to suit into a new aspect. The most important thing is do not think of yourself as enough at the moment, but to think a bit longer, like what you need to do better so that your competitors won't be able to reach your level of work. Knowing who you are and what you need is vital, and hope everyone begins to start planning while you have time. Thank you, John.
Oh, Jack, thank you so much for that contribution. Mark, your thoughts, please.
Yeah, John, I just absolutely love listening and learning from people from around the world. And Jack's based in Hong Kong, Asia. Badminton is huge in Asia, and yeah, it's so competitive in the Asian continent, and it is possible to make money there. Very good contribution. Very interesting to listen and learn, John.
Yeah, I think you're right. It puts into context that, we're all, people from Ireland, we're a population of about 6 million. So we kind of think like a population of 6 million. But when you have a population that's in the tens and nearly 100 millions, it's such, Asia's such a huge market. We forget it is a different context and a mindset for making money playing badminton, Mark, yeah?
Yeah. I do remember being in Malaysia many years ago, and I remember traveling around Kuala Lumpur and seeing big billboards with the top Malaysian badminton players advertising products. So it's great to travel and learn. Brilliant, John.
Yeah, great. Well, listen, Jack, thank you so much. And we will be profiling players in the future, and we will be profiling Jack at some stage, and keep an eye listening to our podcasts, which are, of course, brought to you by My Mobile Badminton Shop and, as you know, sponsored by the Q Shuttle. So hello to all our listeners all over the world. This is John Noble and
Mark Topping.
Yeah, and this is Badminton Talk Podcast. Now, we moved from Hong Kong to England, and we caught up with an inspirational badminton player, Ray Webster. You know Ray, Mark?
Yes, John. Ray is famous on the badminton circuit.
Yes, he has. He plays in the Masters circuit. He plays on the main circuit. He's a baby boomer. You can check your dictionary for age category. And I think if he walks out on a court to play against Momota or for Victor Axelsen, you will hear Gillian Clark probably say to Martin Frost, "Oh my goodness, I don't believe it." What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, that is possible.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, no, isn't this Zoom great, Mark? We kind of have this little pause on our podcast. It's quirky, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, so now I want to play a short clip from what Ray had to say with regards to can you make money playing badminton?
For a player to earn a living from competition badminton and bring much more new talent into the higher levels, they need to be able to compete on level terms. It's too simple an equation to say The cream and those who work hardest will rise to the top. The accumulation of ranking points determines what level of tournament a player can gain entry to, and what prize money, and more so, what financial sponsorship they can gain. Yet for even those with exceptional talent, gaining enough points to rise into the big money is like running after a moving train. And that train is first class only. And that class has partly arisen through the nature of the ranking system. Yes, those on the train have done the work, but it's much harder to catch the train than remain on it, because the point system awards disproportionate amounts of points as the grade of tournament rises. So we have a system, whether by design or not, that maintains an upper echelon which the vast majority of highly talented players cannot break into, unless the hand of some Greek god empowers them with a series of outrageous performances that ploughs them through to several finals. That we have outstanding talent at the top is great. It's inspiring, but it's more or less the same cycle of 32 players or pairs in each discipline that reigns supreme. So what undiscovered talent and who lies in the wings that may never be heard of? That's all the more the loss for the sport, its sponsors, TV entertainment, the hundreds of millions of followers and players themselves.
Well, there you've heard it from the legendary Ray Webster, also known as Ray Mondo. Mark, any thoughts on what Ray said about making money playing badminton?
Yeah, I would say Ray has a very analytical mind, and he has studied the world ranking system very carefully. And I get the impression from what he's saying is that it is incredibly difficult to break into the top 32 ranking on any of the disciplines. So because it's so hard to break into, that's where the money is. It seems as though the system is designed to keep the top 32 together. That's what I'm reading from what I hear from Ray. But it's very interesting, very interesting to listen and learn. John?
Yeah, and this is what Dean Dowling had to say. Dean is well known on the Irish circuit. Mark, you know Dean Dowling?
Yeah, Dean is very active with Leinster Badminton, with Dunboyne Badminton Club, and he's heavily involved in the youth of badminton. So let's have a listen to Dean.
Okay. Come on, Dean.
Hi, John. Hi, Mark. Can you make money playing badminton? That's an interesting question. When I thought about it first, I would have said no, absolutely not. However, when thinking again, I realised, well, I'm spending a fortune every month, so someone has to be making money, right? So, yes, I think there is an opportunity. I'd like to see more coaching, and I think that there is a great opening for any of the kids who have been to an academy or a cell for a number of years to become a coach. They know all the drills, the footwork exercises, and can execute the shots. So if I was one of these kids, I'd pop an email off to Leagues and Cups, get the contact details for senior and junior clubs. Between the two, there are about 70 in Leinster. Contact their chairperson, don't wait for them to come to you, and offer coaching services when the club reopens. Now more than ever, we need to encourage members to return post-COVID, and this could help. So great opportunity to make some money, and just as important, to promote the game. The best of luck with the podcast, lads, and please do us all a favour, stay out of the parks.
Well, you heard it from Dean, Mark. We've about 20 seconds to give you a comment, and you'll be given your cue order quickly. Thoughts on that from Dean?
Yeah, Dean is spot on. He really is. When I think of my first years in badminton, I must have spent a fortune on stringing, rackets, shoes, shuttles. But I did it willingly. I loved it. I loved the game. Great game. I met so many people. I got exercise. Absolutely fabulous. And Dean is absolutely spot on with his idea of encouraging young badminton players into coaching. Couldn't agree with him more. John.
Mark, fantastic. We will summarise all our contributors as we move forward on this podcast. We're out of time again, Mark.
Brilliant, John. Well done.
Yes, well done too, Mark. Time flies when you're having fun. This podcast was brought to you by mymobilebadmintonshop.ie. Of course, it was sponsored by the Q Shuttle. We want to thank you all for listening. We'll continue next week. Make money playing badminton, can you? See you then, Mark.
See you, John. Thanks for that.